The arena was louder than ever before. Thousands of alien voices filled the massive dome. Bright lights flashed across the metal walls. Giant screens showed the center ring from every angle. Today was not just another fight. Today, the galaxy wanted entertainment. In the middle of the arena stood a single human woman. She looked small compared to everything around her. No heavy armor covered her body, no glowing shield surrounded her. She wore a simple, dark combat suit. Her hands were empty. Her face was calm. The crowd began to laugh. Humans were new to the galactic combat arena. They were known for clever machines and fast ships, but in direct combat, most species believed humans were weak. High above, in a private viewing chamber, members of the Galactic Council watched closely. They wanted to test something. They wanted to see if humans truly believed they were equal to the older races of the galaxy. Across from the human, a massive gate opened. The arena floor trembled. Zerath, the flame tyrant, stepped forward. He was a champion of 3 systems, 8 feet tall. His armor was thick and red, covered with burn marks from past battles. In his hands, he carried a Class 7 plasma cannon. The crowd roared with excitement. Zerath lifted the cannon slightly, letting everyone see it clearly. The weapon hummed with power. Blue light moved along its sides like trapped lightning. The announcer's voice echoed through the arena. "Behold the ultimate weapon of controlled combat. Plasma cannot be blocked. Plasma cannot be stopped. Once fired, it destroys everything." Cheers exploded around the dome. The human did not react. She simply looked at Zerath. Her eyes showed no fear. Zerath tilted his head. He expected shaking. He expected panic. Instead, she stood like a statue. "Human," Zerath's deep voice rolled across the arena. "You may surrender. This will end quickly." She did not answer. That made the crowd laugh even louder. Some aliens began placing bets. Others turned away, already bored. They believed this fight would last only seconds. Zerath powered up the plasma cannon. The sound changed. It grew louder. The air around the barrel started to distort from the heat. Blue energy gathered at the center, spinning faster and faster. Even the protective shields around the arena flickered as they adjusted to the rising power level. Warning signals flashed on the arena screens. Plasma output rising, temperature increasing, impact prediction, total disintegration. Still, the human did not move. Then, slowly, she raised one hand. Only one. Her palm faced the incoming weapon. The crowd burst into wild laughter. Some aliens mocked her openly. "Is she waving goodbye? Does she think she can catch it?" Zerath felt insulted. He increased the charge to maximum allowed level. The cannon screamed as energy reached its peak. "This will be remembered," he said, locking on to her position. He pulled the trigger. A massive beam of blue plasma exploded forward. It was bright like a newborn star. The heat wave hit the arena shields instantly. The ground cracked under Zerath's feet from the recoil. The beam shot straight towards the human at impossible speed. It should have ended her in less than a second, but when the plasma reached her, something impossible happened. The beam stopped. It did not explode. It did not pass through her. It froze in the air, only inches from her palm. The entire arena went silent. The laughing stopped. The cheering stopped. Even the announcer said nothing. The plasma beam trembled like it had struck an invisible wall. But there was no wall, only her hand. Her fingers were steady. Her expression did not change. Blue light reflected in her calm eyes as she stood there, holding back the most powerful plasma weapon allowed in the arena. Zerath's eyes widened inside his helmet. He pushed more power into the cannon. The beam grew thicker, hotter, brighter, but it did not move forward. Instead, the ground beneath the human's feet cracked slightly, not from damage, but from pressure pushing downward. She took one small step forward, still holding the beam. Gasps filled the arena. This was not defense, this was control. For the first time in many cycles, fear spread through the crowd. The human was not burning, she was not struggling, she was stopping plasma with one hand, and the galaxy was watching. The silence inside the arena felt heavy. No one laughed anymore. The massive plasma beam still roared between Zareth and the human woman. Blue light filled the entire dome. The heat was so intense that the outer shield systems activated another defensive layer. Zareth increased the power again. Warning signs flashed across his armor display. Maximum output reached, but pride pushed him forward. He would not lose to a small human in front of the entire galaxy. The plasma beam grew wider. The floor under the human's boots cracked deeper. Smoke rose around her feet. Yet her hand did not shake. Her fingers were steady. Her eyes were calm. She looked not like someone defending herself, but like someone studying the attack. High above, the Galactic Council members leaned forward in their seats. This is impossible. No known material can block plasma. Scan her, now. The arena AI scanned her body again and again. No external shield detected, no energy field projected, no hidden technology found. The only strange reading came from her body itself. Energy levels rising internally. Zareth roared and stepped forward, pushing the cannon harder. If you can block it, then survive this. He activated overload mode. The plasma beam screamed as its color shifted from blue to bright white. The arena shields trembled. Even the crowd stepped back in fear. But something changed. The human moved, not backward, forward. She took one slow step toward Zareth. The plasma beam bent slightly around her hand. Gasps filled the stadium. Step by step, she walked through the beam. The plasma touched her suit, but it did not burn it. The energy split around her body like water flowing around a rock. She was not blocking it anymore. She was parting it. Zareth's breathing grew heavy inside his helmet. That cannot be. She was now halfway between them, still walking, still holding the beam in her palm. Then she did something no one expected. She closed her fingers, slowly, as if she were grabbing something solid. The plasma beam compressed. The white light shrank. The screaming sound turned into a sharp whine. Zareth tried to release the trigger, but the weapon would not respond. Energy readings spiked dangerously. She tightened her grip. The massive beam collapsed into a small sphere of bright white energy in her hand. The entire arena went dark for a second as the sudden power drop shocked the system. When the lights returned, she stood there holding a glowing ball of plasma no larger than a stone. The crowd stared in disbelief. She looked at it carefully, like someone examining a simple object. Then she crushed it. The light vanished. No explosion, no shockwave, just silence. Zareth stumbled backward. His plasma cannon sparked and died in his hands. Smoke rose from its damaged core. That weapon was built to destroy warships, one council member whispered, and she just folded it. The human lowered her hand slowly. Her eyes locked onto Zareth. There was no anger in her expression, no excitement, only quiet focus. For the first time in his long career, Zareth felt something unfamiliar: fear. He dropped the useless cannon. It hit the arena floor with a loud metallic crash. The sound echoed across the silent stadium. The human did not chase him. She waited, almost like she was giving him another chance. The crowd began whispering, "What is she? Is this human technology? No, no machine can do that." Zareth growled and activated his secondary weapons. 2 plasma blades extended from his forearms, glowing bright blue. "If plasma cannot kill you, then I will cut you apart." He charged forward at full speed. The ground cracked beneath his heavy steps. The human did not move until the last second. When he swung the first blade toward her head, she tilted slightly. The blade missed by inches. He swung again, faster. She stepped aside smoothly. Every attack missed. She moved with small, perfect motions, no wasted energy, no panic. Zareth attacked again and again, but it was like fighting air. The crowd watched in stunned silence. She was not just strong, she was in control. Then, in one sudden motion, she reached out and placed 2 fingers against the flat side of his glowing plasma blade. The blade flickered, then shattered. Fragments of hard light energy broke apart like glass. Zareth froze in shock. Before he could react, she stepped closer, close enough that he could see his own reflection in her calm eyes, and in that moment, he understood something terrifying. She had never been trying to survive. She had been measuring him, and now she was finished measuring. Zareth stepped back for the first time in his career. The broken remains of his plasma blade faded into sparks at his feet. His second blade flickered uncertainly, its energy unstable after what had just happened. The human woman stood only a few steps away. She was not breathing hard. She was not injured. She looked patient. Around them, the arena remained silent. Even the loudest species in the galaxy had nothing to say. The screens replayed the moment again and again, her fingers touching the blade, the impossible shatter. High above, the council chamber was filled with tension. "Her energy readings are increasing," one scientist reported, "but there is still no external source. That means the power is coming from inside her body. That is biologically impossible." Below, Zareth activated his final defense protocol. His chest armor opened slightly, revealing a hidden plasma core, forbidden in most matches, but allowed for champions in emergency situations. The core began to glow bright blue. "If you are some kind of weapon, then I will use mine completely." The human tilted her head slightly. "You misunderstand," she said softly. Her voice carried clearly across the arena. "I am not a weapon." Zareth roared and charged again. He swung his remaining blade in a wide arc while releasing a burst from his chest core. Plasma exploded outward in every direction, turning the arena floor into molten stone. Flames and light surrounded the human completely. The crowd leaned forward. Surely this would be enough. The explosion faded slowly. Smoke drifted through the air. Then a shape appeared inside the burning ground. She was still standing. The flames moved around her like they were alive but afraid to touch her. Her suit was untouched, her skin unburned. She stepped forward through the heat. "You studied our ships," she said calmly. "You studied our weapons." Each step she took caused the molten ground to cool instantly beneath her boots. "You never studied us." Zareth fired a concentrated blast from his chest core directly at her. This time she did not raise her hand, she did not block. She simply looked at the incoming blast, and the plasma curved. It bent away from her body as if pulled by invisible gravity. It shot past her shoulder and struck the far arena wall, exploding harmlessly against the shield barrier. Gasps spread through the crowd. She's controlling the trajectory. That's gravitational manipulation. That's beyond military technology. Zareth felt panic rising in his chest. He increased the core output to dangerous levels. Warning alarms filled his helmet. Core instability detected. But he ignored them. He fired again and again. Each blast curved away. Some spiraled into the air. Some dropped harmlessly to the ground. None touched her. She stopped walking when she was only 1 arm's length from him. He was towering over her, but now size meant nothing. Her eyes locked onto his. "Humans are not the strongest," she said quietly. "We are not the biggest." Her hand slowly rose again. "We adapt." She placed her palm gently against the center of his chest armor, directly over the glowing plasma core. Zareth froze. Sensors inside his suit went wild. Energy reversal detected. Core synchronization lost. The bright blue glow inside his chest shifted color. It turned white, then silver. The power was no longer building. It was draining. "Stop!" Zareth shouted, trying to step back, but he could not move. His armor systems were locked. "We learned long ago," she continued calmly, "that the best way to defeat power is not to fight it." The silver light spread across his armor like cracks in glass. "It is to understand it." The plasma core shut down completely. All light vanished. The arena lights flickered as Zareth's entire combat system powered off. His massive body fell forward. He hit the ground with a heavy crash that echoed across the silent dome. Dust rose slowly around him. The human stepped back. She had not struck him. She had not burned him. She had simply turned his own power off. Medical drones rushed into the arena cautiously. They scanned Zareth and confirmed he was alive, only unconscious. The human looked around at the thousands of watching eyes. No one cheered. No one moved. For the first time in history, a champion had been defeated without visible force. High above, the council members exchanged nervous looks. One of them finally spoke. "If one human can do this," another finished the sentence quietly, "then what happens when they send more?" Down in the arena, the human lowered her hand. Her energy readings slowly returned to normal. She did not celebrate. She did not smile. She simply turned toward the exit gate. And as she began to walk away, a new feeling spread through the galaxy. It was not hatred. It was not anger. It was something much deeper. Respect and fear. The arena doors did not open immediately. The human stopped walking when she noticed. The path behind her remained sealed. Above, the council chamber lights dimmed as emergency discussions began. This cannot be broadcast further. It is already live across 12 systems. Cut the transmission. Too late! It's spreading! Across the galaxy, billions were watching the replay. The moment the plasma beam froze, the moment Zerath fell, the moment the human walked calmly through fire. In the arena, security drones slowly descended from the ceiling, not attacking, just watching. The human looked up at them. "I am not here to conquer," she said clearly. Her voice was calm, but it carried through every speaker. "I am here because you invited us." The council activated the main arena screen. A large hologram of their lead representative appeared above the ring. "You were invited to compete," the council leader said carefully, "not to demonstrate unknown military superiority." She looked at the hologram without fear. "You called plasma unstoppable," she replied. "You built your entire military belief around that idea." Murmurs spread across the audience. "It has been unstoppable for centuries," the council leader answered. She shook her head slightly. "No power is unstoppable." The giant screens flickered again, but this time they did not show the arena. They showed deep space. Human ships appeared, not in attack formation, not firing weapons, just positioned quietly at the edge of several major trade routes. The crowd gasped. "Is this a threat?" one council member demanded. "If we wanted war," the human said calmly, "you would not see us coming." The human ships on the screens remained still, peaceful, yet clearly powerful. The design of the ships was simple but advanced. No large plasma cannons, no glowing weapons visible. One council scientist spoke nervously. "Those ships, they are not powered by plasma cores." "No," she answered, "they are not." Silence filled the chamber again. "You studied our old technology," she continued. "You measured our plasma weapons. You watched our early battles." Her eyes hardened slightly. "And you decided we were average." The screen changed again. Old footage appeared. Early human colonies under alien pressure, trade agreements forced unfairly, human ships inspected and restricted. The crowd shifted uncomfortably. "We allowed that. We allowed you to believe plasma was the final power." The council leader's voice tightened. "What are you saying?" She looked around the arena slowly. "Humans moved beyond plasma decades ago." Shock rippled through the chamber. "Beyond plasma?" "We learned to manipulate gravity at a small scale." The broken cracks in the arena floor began to shift. Small pieces of stone lifted slightly into the air, floating gently before settling back down. Gasps echoed everywhere. "We learned to compress energy inside living cells." Her hand glowed faintly again, but softer this time. "Not to destroy worlds, to survive them." The security drones lowered slightly, unsure whether to move closer or retreat. "We built arenas to prove strength," she continued. "We built ourselves." The council members were silent now. The galaxy had believed humans relied on machines, but this was something else, something internal, something evolved. "You fear that we will use this against you," the council leader said carefully. She considered that. "If we wanted revenge, we would not be standing here talking." The human ships on the screens slowly powered down their visible systems. One by one, they jumped out of view, not with bright plasma trails, but with quiet distortion in space. Gone. No threat display, no warning shot, just disappearance. "In the future," she said softly, "do not measure us by old standards." She turned back toward the sealed gate. This time the doors slowly opened. No alarm sounded, no guards entered. Before stepping out, she paused. One more thing. She looked back at the silent crowd. Plasma was never unstoppable. Her eyes lifted toward the council chamber above. Belief was. Then she walked through the gate. The doors closed quietly behind her. Inside the arena, thousands of beings remained frozen in place. The champion of 3 systems lay defeated. The strongest weapon in controlled combat had been folded like paper, and for the first time in centuries, the galaxy understood something dangerous. Humanity had never been trying to compete. They had been waiting to be taken seriously. And now that moment had arrived. The arena did not erupt in noise after she left. There was no cheering, no angry shouting, only silence. Zarath was carried away by medical drones. The champion who had never fallen lay unconscious, his armor dark and powerless. His defeat replayed again and again across every major system. But the most important moment was not when he fell. It was when she walked away. Across the galaxy, military command rooms were no longer laughing at human broadcasts. Analysts replayed the plasma freeze frame by frame. Scientists zoomed in on the moment her fingers closed around the beam. No external emitter, no shield signature, no plasma counter-frequency. What are we looking at? One human historian watching from Earth simply whispered, "Evolution." In the council chamber, emergency voting began. Classify humans as Tier 1 military threat or Tier 1 strategic equal. The room was divided. They humiliated our champion. They showed restraint. They placed fleets near trade routes, and then they withdrew them. The council leader leaned back slowly. They came to send a message, and they sent it. Meanwhile, in a quiet corridor beneath the arena, the human woman walked alone. No guards followed her. No one dared to stop her. A small communication device in her ear activated. A calm male voice spoke. "Status? Demonstration successful," she replied. "Any aggression? None." Council response. Fear, confusion, respect. There was a short pause. "Good," the voice answered. "Return home." She stopped walking for a second and looked back toward the massive arena wall. Through layers of metal and shields, she could still feel the fading heat of Zarath's plasma core. "They were not ready," she said quietly. "They never are," the voice replied. The connection ended. Far above the planet, hidden beyond normal detection range, a single human ship waited. It did not glow, it did not broadcast, it simply existed in silence. Inside, officers monitored every channel in the system. Council fleets? Holding position. No weapon locks detected. Trade lanes? Clear. The commander nodded. Prepare return jump. Back in the arena, the council leader addressed the galaxy in an emergency broadcast. "Today we witnessed an unexpected development." No one moved as she spoke. "For centuries, plasma has defined power. Images of plasma battles from history flashed on screen. But power evolves." The footage shifted to the arena moment, the frozen beam, the closed fist, the silence. "We misjudged humanity." A wave of whispers spread through watching systems. "They are not inferior." The arena did not erupt in noise after she left. There was no cheering, no angry shouting, only silence. Zarath was carried away by medical drones. The champion who had never fallen lay unconscious, his armor dark and powerless. His defeat replayed again and again across every major system. But the most important moment was not when he fell. It was when she walked away. Across the galaxy, military command rooms were no longer laughing at human broadcasts. Analysts replayed the plasma freeze frame by frame. Scientists zoomed in on the moment her fingers closed around the beam. No external emitter, no shield signature, no plasma counter-frequency. What are we looking at? One human historian watching from Earth simply whispered, "Evolution." In the council chamber, emergency voting began. Classify humans as Tier 1 military threat or Tier 1 strategic equal. The room was divided. They humiliated our champion. They showed restraint. They placed fleets near trade routes, and then they withdrew them. The council leader leaned back slowly. They came to send a message, and they sent it. Meanwhile, in a quiet corridor beneath the arena, the human woman walked alone. No guards followed her. No one dared to stop her. A small communication device in her ear activated. A calm male voice spoke. "Status? Demonstration successful," she replied. "Any aggression? None." Council response. Fear, confusion, respect. There was a short pause. "Good," the voice answered. "Return home." She stopped walking for a second and looked back toward the massive arena wall. Through layers of metal and shields, she could still feel the fading heat of Zeroth's plasma core. "They were not ready," she said quietly. "They never are," the voice replied. The connection ended. Far above the planet, hidden beyond normal detection range, a single human ship waited. It did not glow, it did not broadcast, it simply existed in silence. Inside, officers monitored every channel in the system. Council fleets? Holding position. No weapon locks detected. Trade lanes? Clear. The commander nodded. Prepare return jump. Back in the arena, the council leader addressed the galaxy in an emergency broadcast. "Today we witnessed an unexpected development." No one moved as she spoke. "For centuries, plasma has defined power." Images of plasma battles from history flashed on screen. But power evolves. The footage shifted to the arena moment, the frozen beam, the closed fist, the silence. "We misjudged humanity." A wave of whispers spread through watching systems. "They are not inferior. They are not reckless. They are disciplined." The council leader's eyes hardened slightly. "And they are prepared." In distant star systems, alien admirals quietly updated strategic maps. Human territory was no longer marked as a developing region. It was marked carefully, with caution. Back on Earth, news of the arena event spread through quiet government buildings. There were no celebrations, no parades, just nods of approval. A general spoke calmly to a room of officers. "They finally understand." A younger officer asked, "Should we increase fleet production?" The general shook his head. "No." "Why not?" "Because now they will think before they act." The room fell silent in understanding. Power was not about firing first. It was about making sure no one wanted to fire at you. In space above the arena world, the hidden human ship began its jump sequence. No bright explosion, no massive light, just a soft bend in reality. Then it vanished. The system scanners barely registered it. Inside the arena, workers slowly repaired the cracked floor. They removed melted stone. They replaced shattered panels. But one mark remained untouched, the exact spot where the plasma beam had frozen in the air. Engineers studied it carefully. There was no burn mark, no damage, just a faint, smooth indentation in the shape of a human hand. They decided to leave it there, not as damage, but as a reminder. Across the galaxy, a new sentence began circulating through military channels and political networks. If one human can do that, no one finished the thought out loud anymore. They did not need to. The silence from the arena had spread, and this time it was not fear of plasma, it was respect for something far more dangerous: humanity. Not loud, not reckless, but unstoppable in a way no one had ever studied, and the galaxy would never laugh at them again.